Good morning, Flosstube. It's Pam, stitching between the lines. It is Wednesday morning, May 19th, 2021, and this is video number 95. It's a beautiful morning. We're having summer. It went from not so very nice to summer, like snow in the early part of May, and now it's summer, like humid and hot, and our air conditioning came on. Oh, I was putting lotion on this morning. I took all the jewels off. Now it's going to feel weird. Anyway, we're more than halfway done with May, Stitch Mania May, where I am not playing along in the traditional way. I'm working on projects for 3 days at a time. I have some smaller projects that I have 3 smaller projects that I plan to do one day on each of those, I hope. I showed them all in the last video, I think, and talked about what I had to work on, and I wasn't quite sure what and how I was going to work on them, and that's kind of how it goes. I do it however I feel like it. So, anyway, things are starting to get out of hand with me leaving everything out that I've worked on so I can be sure to show you. So, we need to do a video. What's going on? Wedding. We're planning a wedding, as you know. If you're new here, we're planning a wedding. A COVID. Well, actually, I say a COVID wedding. COVID rules and all that. But things are starting to open up. So hopefully by the time we're having a wedding in July, things will be a little more free and feeling comfortable while we're able to be a little more free. Let's say that. So anyway, I'm trying to decide which way to go first. One thing I keep forgetting to mention. Okay, not meaning to be a long conversation on this subject, but I understand that YouTube is putting putting commercials in people's videos that haven't opted to monetize. But I finally took the leap. I've griped. So here's me who does monetize. Should be one commercial at the beginning. When they plunked them in all over the place willy-nilly, I went back and edited all those out, every video. Maybe I could have done it in the settings, but I almost didn't want to risk it. I almost didn't want to dare in case it didn't really take them all away. And then there's Flosstube people who are dismayed to have theirs monetized when they didn't want it. I don't know if you can go back in and change settings and have that go away. And there's Flosstubers I've quit watching because they opt to monetize, and there's commercials like constantly. And sometimes I feel like they make videos when there's no real point to their video. It's just like to make sure they make a video that week or whatever amount of time, just to make sure they keep up. I don't know. So anyway, I have finally broken down and bought Prime, YouTube Prime. Love it. Can't say enough things about it. No commercials. So anyway, there you go. That's an option, I guess, if there's somebody you love who's put a lot of commercials in. And the other thing is, if there's somebody you love to watch and the commercials sort of grate on your nerves, if you watch them like really soon after their video goes up, the commercials haven't been added yet. So if you have that kind of freedom in your life to be notified and watch the videos right away, there you go. The cat's in here. He's checking out all the things I got out. Koopy, no. And trying to eat the plastic bag. So let's do this right away first. I went and got a piece from the framer. Ornaments All Around is back home. Cooper, no. Sorry, I took the plastic off this, which has masking tape to hold it all down and hold it shut. And he's real interested. So, Ornaments All Around was a Maynia 2020 start. It's by Glendon Place, and the fabric is Picture This Plus 28 count Belfast linen crystal relic. I'm reading on the back. I try to remember to put some stuff on the back. I put PTP like in 100 years we're going to know what that means. I might have to add the words that mean Picture This Plus. So anyway, it came out fabulous. It was really, really hard to pick a color, as you can imagine. So we kind of went with the sort of gingerbread brown. Came out lovely. Lovely frame, lovely framing. I'm almost happy with the framing they do at the shop where I take mine. I'm fearful. Framing has been difficult in this last year, and one of the companies that they get their frames from has gone out of business. So it's become more difficult, and one of them I think comes from Malaysia, I think she said. That's, I think, the one they aren't doing business with anymore. And she had to take down practically half the frames on her wall. I fear for the future of of that business, of that shop, I guess. It makes me nervous. And I went in to pick up I went in to take the wedding sampler I did and to pick this up. And there were there were like sections on clearance and signs that said we need to slim down, and selling an entire design line, for example. Makes me a little nervous of what's going on there. It's hard, I know. Brick and mortar shops. And this store has been, I'd say it's been in business 35 years. So anyway, I'm going to put a video in right here of another piece I picked up. So watch here. Hi everybody, I'm making a quick insert to put in the video that you're watching because this is a gift and it will have been gifted by the time I'm making whatever video I'm making. And I wanted to be able to show you. So my daughters both learned to cross stitch when they were kids. It wasn't really their hobby. It wasn't really anything they did beyond a couple little things. But COVID had an interesting impact, and they picked it up when they're both teachers, and their whole work, life balance changed, and they had a lot more time on their hands. So my oldest daughter did a couple pieces. She did like cinnamon stars, which I think is Plum Street, and she did a few others. And my other daughter did some cute things, nice pieces. One of them I never showed you a picture of. I got it paid to have it framed for her for Christmas. So this piece I had paid to have framed for my daughter for her birthday, my oldest daughter. It is lavender and laces, Christmas tree. I'm trying to avoid the window glare. There is glass on it because of the beads. I moved all around the house trying to find the right spot for it to show you where it didn't reflect so much. But there it is. And this is actually the second time I made the video because lawn people are at the house next door and the weed things are going and going and going, and then they stopped, so I restarted and now they're going again. So anyway, just look at the picture. Don't worry about the words and the sound. Look, I'll let you look out the window. There's the view out the dining room window. Because that's like spoiling the shot, but let's try to angle a little bit. She did do it on a piece of linen. I don't know what it is. Maybe by the time I'm making the video, I will know what it was done on, but maybe a piece of raw, natural, I don't know the count. She did modify the gold border a little bit. I feel like maybe there was another color in there as well or something. We had a conversation about did it look okay this way. So I honestly don't know what she changed. But it is just gorgeous. It came out just beautiful. Those beads, sorry, we'll angle it this way so you can see this part. The beads in the popcorn bowl and cranberries are so cute. Those little kids, the children, they're so sweet. My kids are redheads, so I get the impression they're red. They maybe are really more brown-haired, but whatever. We're looking at the frame now. Trying to keep the dining room window out of the shot. So by the time you're seeing this, it will be gifted to her and hanging in her house. It turned out beautiful. Just beautiful. So there you go. Back to the regularly scheduled program. So anyway, magic of television. I'm still here having the same conversation, but you have since watched a video of a piece that my daughter stitched that I framed for her birthday. So I did the little clip right before I was wrapping it. Her birthday was in April. So it's gone home to its to where it belongs, to where it lives now. So it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful piece. So anyway, got to see that. That was fun, right? And then I've been stitching on Maynia things. I brought my little calendar book over here so we could do them in order. Why? I don't know, because I don't know. That's what I did. So my first thing that I worked on was the Farms of... I'm sorry. Everything's next to me. I'm going to have to lean over and get it. The Farms of Hawk Run Hollow. This I've been working on for a few years. I was trying to do... Prior Maynia had been, a block, two blocks, and then trying to accomplish a block or two in the year. Whatever goals I set up, I accomplished in the appropriate years. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've crossed the halfway mark. This was this year's Maynia, which was 3 days of work. But prior to me starting the 3 days of work, I had made the box. I boxed it all in. And I got about half of it done. This particular block looks like this. So I have a fair amount of it done. The next largest chunk is the horse. The pile of corn was probably the biggest thing. So it's coming along. I would like one of these days to find the drive to finish all the boxes. I don't like doing those, but if they're done, I'm more apt to sit down and work on it and maybe try to accomplish a box. I'm not really sure this can make it to being done by next year's Maynia. I know the Maynia Facebook page is closing down. But I feel like in our mind, Maynia is a thing here to stay. The thing I like about Maynia, first of all, I've only done it a couple years. I like all the new starts, but this year I just wasn't feeling it. Although in the last video, I think I showed you a bunch of things I was thinking about starting. I like that I sort of commit to touching every whip in that month. This time it might not happen. Some of the things that I've really worked on more recently, I'm leaning towards not touching right here and now in May because I have too many things to work on each item for 3 days. So anyway, Farms of Hawk Run Hollow got 3 days, and then All American Santa got 3 days. Poor Santa. Poor Santa. Poor Santa. Not really poor Santa, but let me find his big picture for you. It's always a thing about what do I keep open. He was a inauguration day start, and he and I had some problems. Not his fault at all. My level of commitment to a new start, I guess. I started the wrong Santa. I've explained this before. And then I started the correct Santa, and I just had bits of him done. Like his belt was done and some of the red. So in 3 days, I got a lot more of his coat done. So he's not going to drag out for long. If I spend any amount of time and commitment, and especially get the tree done that he's carrying over his shoulder. And see, I flipped the book back to the actual pattern. If I get that done, I feel like the rest will go pretty quickly. Sorry. Don't mind me, who can't seem to mark a page, keep 2 pages going at once, none of it. The number of Santas with trees over his shoulder is possibly how I ended up starting the wrong one. That's very possible as I flip through this book. Let me find him first, or not, because I seem to be having a page turning problem. So there he is. So in this book, which is one of the leisure, Santa Remembered. which I had bound, and I had the cover, I don't know, what do you call it, laminated. The beginning starts out with all the pictures, the original artwork, and then the stitching. And the very next Santa after this picture, because it's the last one in the lineup, is the, well, all right, the next one after that is the one I started by accident. So I kind of just flipped the page and I don't know. See, he also has a tree over his shoulder. So I'm thinking that's what stood out in my mind the most. I don't know. I really just don't have a good valid excuse for what the heck went wrong with that. And then I did 3 days on Brenda Gervais Snowbirds, or With Thy Needle and Thread. This was I started 3 or 4 things, 3 things the first few days of January, and this was one of them. I just went all willy-nilly. What can I say? I had the border done and a little bit of kind of the outline of the snowman. That's about it. So I worked in the 3 days, which maybe I didn't have a lot of stitching time. I believe that's probably true. I did leaves, some of the details like the arms on the snow. It's a snow lady, this one. Some of those things. I was counting leaves. I think I'm just halfway done with leaves. So, but no pressure. This is on 40 count Confederate gray linen. I don't know who dyes. I don't know who the dyer is. Somebody will know what Confederate gray is. Who dyes that color? Oh, and then after Snowbirds was Country Still Life. Somewhere in there I missed. No, Country Still Life wasn't yet. I got so organized. I spent time getting organized, looking up fabric on, I keep a journal on the X Stitch app, looking up fabric names and writing them down. And I'm still disorganized because I can't read the calendar, I guess. So anyway, 3 days of Mermaids of the Deep. And let me just say, I'm going to get there in a second to what I'm going to say. These are so beautiful, these ladies. How many times have I said about this picture? One of the reasons I picked this is because my girls are redheads, right? Did anybody laugh? Did anybody send a comment and say, by the way, when those are stitched, they're not red? Nope. You might have laughed. That part I wouldn't know. Their hair is very brown. It's very brown. I don't know if maybe when you after you add all the bling, if it... I have no idea. No idea. I thought I would manage... I had everything done but the hair at this point. I thought I would manage both girls' hair in my 3 days, which was kind of a joke. I'm thinking the first day must have started out gangbusters, and then after that it fell apart. And I think after doing the hair, one girl's hair after 3 days, I was very happy to put this away. I don't feel that about a lot of them. I feel like 3 days isn't quite enough. So this piece is done on 28 count Joblin Twilight Mist. And I do not have a dyer's name written down. And then Country Still Life. I worked on... Why do I feel like I'm missing one? I think I'm missing one. Honestly, how did I not bring that over here? Excuse me while I pop through my stuff. I think it's still sitting. Yesterday was day 3 on Paula Vaughn's July, so I think I missed that. So anyway, Still Life, Country Still Life. This was what I call an accidental start because I didn't really intend to start something, but I needed a little break. And as if this was a little break, I have no idea. I was doing Lila Studios' Let Freedom Ring very intently for a while, intensely. And I started this, and I've been dragging it out for ages. So this go round, I had a little bit of the croc to work on, and I decided I needed to finish the half stitches that makes the background shading. And then there's also a lot of outlining still in the leaves. I thought I would get to the outlining as well as the shading. What happened... Well, like with the other side, I wanted to do the edge of the quilt to make sure my outlining didn't distort the quilts, as if there's like precision and all this. And I worked, I discovered I was off by half a stitch, which is the worst because it's hard to rectify that. I took things out, I put things in. I thought I would kind of come around and close in on the mistake area and find it, and I didn't. I never found it. I just had to adjust somewhere, and I dare you to find it. Haha, that's not a real dare. Don't even point it out if you can see. You can't see. So this is a fun one, and I am so, after the outlining is done of the leaves, there is outlining on all this stuff, but it's minor compared to the leaves. This one will be getting wrapped up, and I have promised this pattern to somebody, so I haven't forgotten. Look, there's a note in there that says who's it's going to. So I didn't realize this one would be so very sought after. Who knew? I bought it on Stash Unload, and I know I had seen it there more than once. So I don't think that was high demand. I paid only a couple dollars for it, I'm positive. But anyway, if it came up again, somebody will snatch it up because now they've seen it. All right, I need to go find July, which, So I'm going to stop you, and then I'll be back. Hang on. We're back. Anybody who's watched my videos long enough knows that I can be like kind of scattered in my thinking because I'm used to doing like a lot of things at once, and so my mind it works fast forward. Anyway, I tried to get organized this time, and look at what happened. I am like epic fail. Olive on. This was a Maynia 2020 start. I'm doing July out of this book, Quilts for All Seasons. July looks like that. There's as much outlining as there is actual stitching, right? I almost thought it wasn't in this bag, but it's hiding down on the bottom. This is a piece of white. I don't know what. This is that like calls itself even weave, but I'm starting to suspect it's uneven weave because my leaves on the rose bush in the picture, sometimes I think they look long and skinny and mine are short and squat. So I'm guessing without a whole lot of investigating that this might be that uneven weave. MCG, I don't know. I really don't, but I like how subtle it is. Supple, that's the word I want. So this go round for 3 days, I did the rose bush and the chain and the shading. I screwed up the page divides right up through the middle of this, and I messed up somewhere, so I had to take out everything. I don't know. They weren't going to meet correctly. I don't know. Stuff happens. So I thought I would just simply focus on the rose bush. And I did. And last night I finished the chain, and I did, it's the same color that does the chain, that outlines the swing. So I did little bits. I can't do too much because there's more stitching that needs more of the background shading and whatever the plant is down here. So I just did a little bit. When it's sitting, sometimes I use a lap desk. It has legs. It's kind of like a breakfast tray, like if you were eating breakfast in bed kind of tray. And so that's legs. It's very comfortable to have on your lap to work with. So when I lay it down and then put the lap desk on the floor and have to leave and come back, and I see this laying there, I just want to stare at it. I just want to stare at how beautiful it is. If you were driving down a country road and passed a house that had a porch swing like this and some pretty blooming flowers and a couple quilts on it, you'd want to take a picture of it, right? This one. And I've already looked through the book and kind of picked out what I think I might do next. They're so pretty. They're so pretty. It takes a lot of colors. That's a lot of colors in that box. Country Still Life has a box that's practically full too. It takes a lot of colors to make all those shades work and flowers and all that kind of stuff. So there's where my mania is so far. I'm not sure what I will start today. I was thinking I might work on Sue Hillis's "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." That might be a good one to do 3 days of. I mean, it's already like after 11. Not that I stitch in the morning. I really almost never do. That's when errands and housework and blah, 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 blah need to get done. So let me just do this. I should do this every time. Quilt is Lori Holt's Vintage Farm Girl. Made it a few years back when the book was new, and she did a quilt along, and every week in the summer she did 2 blocks, and I just followed along. I don't think I copied her fabrics exactly. I had been accumulating some fabrics that are kind of her style and used them. So there. You've been seeing Lori Holt now that she's doing Flosstube and her quilt videos, and people have like discovered her. I was a fan from the get-go way back when she followed her blog regularly and have bought her patterns and things all along the way. So that's what's hanging there right now. I do tend to change them out. I don't have the space I used to have to display quilts, so I like to give them all some airtime in my house somewhere. That's it. What have we been doing? It's May. It's middle of May. It's feeling summer. We got our boat in. We've been out on the boat. The flowers, I'm flower shopping. I have flowers here and there. That's about it, I think. My oldest daughter, the wedding plans are moving along, and my youngest daughter is in the process of buying a townhouse. What a wild ride that is nowadays. I'm sure everybody, especially in the United States, knows what's happening in the housing market. So it takes some creativity, it takes some perseverance, it takes some. There's disappointing times, and an offer was accepted earlier this week, and hopefully we'll close. The close date that was in the offer was the week before the wedding, so possibly it will close sooner. We're working with the lawyers, the things. Anybody who's bought a house knows there's lots of things. So my daughter is a middle school Spanish teacher. Both my daughters are Spanish teachers. She's done with apartment living. She's done having people upstairs. She wants a garage. I fully understand. She's been saving her money, and she was able to make a good, strong offer. So it's good. It's an exciting time. It'll be a crazy summer. Looking forward to it. See everybody. Bye.